Hey, what's going on? And welcome back to the Rockman Power Hour, a podcast where we talk to the most interesting people in the world of pop culture. And this week on the show, we have got veritable Canadian rock royalty. His name is Gowan, and he's going to be joining us on the Rockman Power Hour. Welcome back to the Rockman Power Hour. I am Jason Rockman, the host of the Rockman Power Hour, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan Styx. Ryan, we have got a great one today. I know that you are a fan of Gowan. I am a fan of Gowan. I've been a fan of Gowan ever since the early 80s, since he started out. I've been watching his career. Not only has he always stayed relevant, he's joined one of the biggest rock bands in the world, Styx. He's been the lead singer of Styx for, I think, almost 20 years now. And he's also part of horror Canadian pop culture history with one of the most exciting independent films to come out of Canada in forever. And you know, that is WolfCop and WolfCop 2. He's lent his music to WolfCop, lent his presence to WolfCop 2. And we're talking to him today on the podcast. How excited are you?
I'm so excited. When you told me who was coming on, we've had some really greats on this show. You know, we've had Corey Taylor, we've had John Taylor of Duran Duran. I mean, it's been nuts, but Gowan is very special to Quebec rock and roll history because it seems like Quebec loves him. Out of the entire world, he's beloved, but people in Quebec really love him.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, you know, he's touring the world everywhere with Styx, but he's coming and doing a bunch of dates in Quebec. He's doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dates in Quebec.
In Quebec.
3 dates in Quebec, 3 dates in Ontario. He's doing 2 in Ottawa, 2 nights in Ottawa. He's doing a night in Toronto at Massey Hall. And he's doing a lot of rad little places in Quebec. He's doing Knowlton, Montreal, Saint-Foy, Saguenay, Saint-Hyacinthe, L'Assomption, and Laval. So Gowan has got a fan base here. And there's no doubt that this guy is appreciated. His work is celebrated, and rightfully so, because not only is he a great singer, a great songwriter, he's a great guy. We got a chance to actually spend time with Gowan. A lot of my friends love Gowan. My friend Rob, who is my partner in Rip Goat, he's a big Gowan fan. Yeah, he loves Gowan. And when he went to see him in Saint Eustache, he played in Saint Eustache a few years back. He got this Gowan comic book at the merch table that was signed by him and brought it back for me. I was trying to dig it out before. I couldn't find it. It was buried in my comics. But when we talk about the comic book a little bit in this episode, we also talk about this very, very special EP live that was recorded, his solo stuff in Quebec, which is really rad. This is actually your copy. I got to give you next time. Yeah.
That's so awesome, man.
So we talked about this, we talk about WolfCop, and we talk about Styx too. So if you're a fan of Gowan, a fan of Styx, fan of WolfCop, this is the episode for you. You're going to enjoy this conversation. But before we go too far, Ryan, let's thank our title sponsor, Heartbeat Hot Sauce. We love Heartbeat Hot Sauce, as you always have them behind you in your fridge. They are the heartbeat of the Rockman Power Hour. I brought my very almost finished bottle of blueberry habanero, and they switched their caps recently. A lot of people, you know, let's face it, any company that grows has growing pains and has things they have to change and they've got to work on. And they were the first ones to not make excuses, but to take action, and they changed the caps. And now these caps are a flowing, man. Yeah, so we got this is the blueberry habanero, and if you use our promo code Rockman20 right below, that'll get you 20% off your entire order. So make sure you check them out. Also, thanks to our friends over at Studio House Designs. Ryan, you've got a nice Buffy the Vampire long sleeve. That's Angel and Buffy, right?
Yeah, I've been on a big Buffy kick. Like this October, I realized like I've seen Buffy so much that I could actually play it when I'm working and stuff. Because, you know, it's so familiar. I could glance up and just piece together the whole episode just by mere glances. And I got to say, like David Boreanaz, like you could tell, like, that guy is a star. Like I could tell he was going to have his own show, even based on the first episode. So, you know, I've always been a big Spike fan, but this time around, I'm really, truly realizing, Angel is where it's at too.
I'm not a big fan of Buffy because I've never really put the time in, but Julia had it on the other day. She's been kind of rewatching Buffy and True Blood at the same time. She's on this vampire kick. And I started watching some of the episodes of Buffy, and I'm like, this isn't bad. I mean, some of the effects are questionable now at this point, but you know, the effect, like when I saw Spike as a vampire, I was like, oh, it's pretty sinister looking, man. It's
Yeah.
almost like they borrow from the Lost Boys.
Oh God, for sure. But
Big
also,
time, right?
yeah. But even the thought of they lean into the whole kind of like British blonde Billy Idol thing. Like they kind of like wink at that later on, where
Yeah.
where it's known that Billy Idol actually stole Spike's look, because Spike's an immortal vampire who's been around for a while. So,
Ah, okay,
that's
okay, I get it.
that's kind of funny. But at the same time, we've met James Marsters a few times through work, and it's incredible that James Marsters, the actor, is not British, because
Yeah,
you'd think
yeah.
so.
You'd think
You'd
he
think
is,
so.
yeah, definitely.
And also, sometimes you just see a hit making character the second they show up on screen. Spike was another one where you're just like, oh damn. So it's interesting when you sometimes things take a little while to ferment. It's sometimes things are instantaneous. When something's realized, instantaneous. It's like someone having an amazing first album. It's like,
Right.
oh my god, there they are. There's no growing pains. That's them.
Yeah, that's them. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, definitely. Well, so thank you, Studio House Designs, for hooking us up with some great shirts. I'm wearing the classic Cronenberg video drone shirt,
nice.
which one of my favorites. I've had it forever, and I'll be sad when this shirt falls apart, because it's one of my faves. Also want to let you know, in the month of December, we're going to be giving away something very, 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 very cool with our friends over at Paramount Home Video. If you are a fan of Star Trek, this is the Picard Legacy Collection.
Wow.
And this, Ryan, has every piece of Star Trek media that includes Jean-Luc Picard. So if
Wow.
Jean-Luc Picard or Patrick Stewart is in it, it's in this box. So I'm going to be
Are
doing
you
an
saying
unboxing.
Patrick Stewart's in that box right now?
No, Patrick Stewart's not in the box, but our friends at Paramount have given us one of these to give away for Christmas. So keep it locked on our socials. We will be giving you hints on how you can win this. And it's funny. Once we start advertising this, we're going to tell people you got to go back through the episodes and look for certain clues. So
Okay.
this is it. This is the Star Trek, the Picard Legacy Collection. It's got every episode of Star Trek: The Next Gen in it. It's got every one of the feature films that has Jean-Luc Picard in it, and it's got every episode of Picard, the show. So there you go, all in there. The Picard Legacy coming to you. Get a chance to win this. It'll be shipped to your door if you win it. So there you go. Thank you to our good friends over at Paramount for that. All right, let's jump into this. Gowan, are you ready?
I was born ready. I stayed up all night, man, because I had these moonlight desires.
Oh God. You really are a strange animal, dude.
Oh.
All right, here it is. Gowan.
There we go.
How you doing?
I'm on the Jason Rockman Power Hour.
Yes. And this is my co-host, Ryan Styx.
Hi, Ryan.
How you do, Gowan?
One moment. I just got to grab.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm in one of these places, one of these areas of the country where you're on the time zone line. So your phone clicks over to 11 o'clock here, right?
Yeah.
But other things like I'd set my watch one way. I've got another phone to do in half an hour. So it's that's 11:30 here, 12 o'clock where you are. I worked it all out. Everything worked.
Where are you right now?
We're in the
Yeah.
We're in
the key of G.
We're in the key of G. Yeah. Gary, Indiana.
Gary. I love it's like, hello, Cleveland.
Very much like that. It can be. We were in a place last night, also in Indiana, called Shipshewana. So you can imagine there was a few rehearsals of that word before we actually went on stage for the night.
So
Shipshewana.
Secondary, tertiary, quartile markets.
That's right. That's right. We play them all, big and small. We play them all.
So are you on the road right now with Gowan, or are you on the road with you're on the road with Styx?
The Styx tour right now. The Gowan tour begins November 16. November 16 in Quebec. We do 8 shows in Quebec, then we do Ottawa, and then we do Toronto. Yeah, and that's yeah.
What's incredible about you, because we're from Montreal, but what's incredible is that not many artists can do 8 shows in Quebec, and it just shows how much you've worked this province and how much you've worked this market, how much people love you here.
I'm aware. Thank you very much. It's great to hear that. By the way, Ryan, you've got some big bottles of sauce behind you there, my boy.
So that's Heartbeat Hot Sauce. They're our sponsor, and Ryan has managed a way to always shrink himself down and be in his fridge when we're doing this.
I would never have guessed, but it looks like you could almost fit in one of those bottles.
It keeps me cool.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's also doing wonders for your hair. I think I might try some of that.
Thank you. Many people think I look delicious because of the company I keep.
I wouldn't disagree. Sorry, yeah, 8 shows in Quebec. I know. I'll go way back in 1985.
Yeah,
it was funny. I had done a full tour of America with Tears for Fears, and at the end of it, there were 2 tours offered. One was to go to Europe, where they had not released Strange Animal at that point, but were considering it, or a tour of Quebec, where we did, I think, I'm going to guess, maybe 20 different cities, towns.
Wow.
And I chose the Quebec one. And to this day, I'm really glad I did, because Quebec audience seems to have this real long-standing affinity for acts that they've seen over the course of their lifetime. And they seem to want to come back and revisit that experience. And it's enriched my life, quite honestly. Even though my French is not much better than it was back then, I still keep hacking away. And some people say they can understand me, but I think they might be just being nice.
I think one of the things that that Quebecers love is that when they discover something, when they feel they have ownership on something, when something comes and they were there at the beginning, and then they will be fans of that band forever.
I think you're absolutely on the money with that. I think it also ties to, because I've spoken to other bands that have progressive rock roots, if they're not just full on prog.
Yeah,
you're one of them that I've toured with, or know guys in the band. Supertramp, Yes, Genesis, like Styx.
Yeah,
they all had their first initial success with that kind of prog leaning music in Quebec.
Yeah.
Wow.
And although I'm far more as a solo artist associated with the 1980s, since that's when my records came out, there was always that kind of prog connection, even though they were, pop rock songs, whatever you want to contain them in whatever box. But and I think the Quebec audiences recognized that early on. And that's part of what kind of galvanized our connection.
Was that a pun? Galvanized your connection? Because that
galvanized
should be a thing. I know, but that should be a thing. That should be galvanized. A thing.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
And all those artists that you mentioned, I was at Shome for almost 14 years. All those artists that you mentioned in Quebec really had, Shome to thank for that launch. I mean, every one of those artists has a relationship with Shome.
Yeah.
I find it incredible. And we have, I know we have a certain amount of time, and we have so many things I want to cover with you, because you've touched on so many different things. I mean, not only, there's your solo career, there's the fact that you're in Styx, but there's also WolfCop, and Ryan and I have to talk about WolfCop, which we will touch on. But
yes, we do.
Yes, we do. But
this interview can go on for hours if you like.
I find the thing that I admire the most about you is that you literally can go anywhere and fit well. And in hindsight, you look at the Gowan stuff and you're like, it's almost like that was like training to be in Styx, because you're showcasing that I could do everything you guys do in Styx in terms of vocals and keyboards. And then you're there and you fit like a glove.
I think there's, I don't know if I believe in this or not, but there's, in the Chinese zodiac, they have, you have the 12 animals that you're associated with, or when you were born. I was born in the year of the monkey, and when I would read the description that they have for that for people born that year, they're very kind of very adaptable, kind of clever, maybe too clever for their own good sometimes, but I'm such a fan of rock music. So first of all, obviously music in general, but also the theatrics that go along with it. So when you talk about WolfCop, and when I read the little snippet of the script that I received for WolfCop 2, because they used, let me think now, they used in the first WolfCop, I think they used
Moonlight Desires.
In the
Yeah.
second one, he was Strange Animal. That's
Yeah.
it. And when they asked if I could be in it, to me, it was like when making rock videos in the 80s. I just embraced the whole notion of kind of turning this into a little mini movie. And since I had such a short little part in that film, I thought, oh, this is great. I could get to play an evil character. And
Lowell Dean's a buddy of mine, and when I met
oh,
him, I just completely fell in love with the person before we even saw the movie. We had an interview before the movie screened,
okay.
and just the fact that there was going to be a Wolf Cop 2 was amazing. The fact that you're involved with it. Can you tell me, about some of your experiences with the mighty Lowell Dean, future directing superstar Lowell Dean, and how he handles himself on a small but such a successful movie?
I arrived in Saskatchewan early February of whatever year it was, 2015 or something like that. And they wouldn't tell me exactly what they wanted me to do until and I picked up at the airport and they said, okay, here's what you're going to be. You're going to be you're the organist at the hockey game. Well, that's something
Yeah.
that's something I've always wanted to be.
Really?
So I thought that's great. But you're an evil guy who is going to unleash these. I don't want to spoil the movie for people, but
At this point, spoilers are allowed.
I know they have
It's
this
been a few
drink,
years.
this chicken milk stout that they're selling, this kind of beer, and eventually they turn into lizard people, and the audience, the crowd, the reptiles spring out of their torsos.
As you do.
as happens in a lot of movies, historical, true to life films, and so kind of went to bed thinking about that. When I woke up in the morning, I talked to Lowell. I said, and to Jay, and I said, okay, how's this? What if the organ guy's name is Organo,
Mm.
and and you just feed me lines that you think Organo would say? So that's how we did it. They kind of said, okay, Organo, and then of course they started making fun of that name, and the referee comes in or something, he calls me oregano or something like that, and the whole thing was just a ton of fun to do. And I hope I can do some more in future. I've done a few films where I'm usually a pretty dark character in films. Played the Grim Reaper in one not too long ago called
I want to know which one it is.
Died. I think horror has become my genre. Yeah, She Never Died. Yeah, She Never Died. And then recently I put a song just last month into a film called Zombie Town. But it's just I'm not in the movie. It's just a song that I have in there.
Tell me a bit about this release, because this has been something that's super cool, super unique, and again, speaks to your love of Quebec. Tell me about how this came together.
That record is kind of responsible for actually getting me into Styx as well, in a weird way.
No way.
Yeah, in 97, 90, late 96, early 97. Okay. I had signed to a company in Quebec called Select.
Yep.
And they had really strong distribution in Quebec. And I was going to do a solo piano tour, no band, just a solo, me on piano, and play, I think maybe a dozen, maybe 12, maybe 15 cities, towns, and record them all on ADAT. And then I lined up Terry Brown, great producer, produced all the Rush albums and Klaatu, and phenomenal producer, to produce it, even though it's just me and piano, just to get the audience to sound right in the whole and capture the atmosphere of those rooms, because they're really joyous, quite frankly. And we recorded that, and I decided, okay, I'm going to put a couple of French songs on there. I'd written one called Stéphanie with a writer in Montreal, Jean-Guy Prince, who wrote the lyrics. I gave him the kind of concept of the song and the music, and came up with lyrics. And then I covered the harmonium song Pour un instant.
Nice.
And when we listened back to it, Terry, he got the whole essence of the atmosphere of it. The original cover was done by Demo, and then Safari, just a photo with a lot of kind of Cirque du Soleil looking colors. But last year, when I went to do a solo tour in Quebec, this time actually not just solo but duo, I brought my son with me to play drums. He's a great drummer. I thought, oh, there's the vinyl resurgence that we've experienced in Styx with our last two albums, The Mission and then Crash of the Crown, which went to number one actually on Billboard on the rock album charts. And the vinyl just keeps going out there. I thought, what if we take Au Quebec, that record from the 90s, and do a vinyl version of it? So it meant, unfortunately, having to cut a couple of the songs because the CD, you're allowed a lot more time. But the fidelity was great. There's a company called Le Vinyliste in Quebec City, and they did it and put it together. But the really cool thing was, in addition to everything else in the colored vinyl, was the idea. I thought, a lot of time has gone by, but I'm still kind of there in Quebec. There's still a lot of, whenever I come there with Styx, they ask, are you going to do some more Gowan shows, etc. Sure. So the cover, if you look at that cover again, Jason, thanks.
Yeah.
It's the same cover as 97, but it's as if someone painted it on a wall, and you can feel actually the text. You feel the texture of the album cover. You see the wall, the paint is peeling away, but it's still, the image is kind of still there.
Well, yeah, it's like a mural that somebody painted 20, 30 years ago, but that endured.
That's right.
That puts so much more emphasis on the importance of physical media.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? There's a tactile experience there. And Dominic at Le Vinyliste said to me, hey, listen, if you want to, we could actually put grains of sand in there so you can feel the texture of the wall.
Which you do. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's as if you're running your hand over an actual wall where the painting is still there. And so I'm really pleased with how that came together. And again, it solidifies that long-standing musical connection that I have with Quebec.
I have two copies. I have one that's open and this one's sealed, but so I know you're talking about, but you could feel it. And it's great because, just the harmonium thing, like that ties right back to me saying you were kind of always in training to be in a major prog rock band, and then you're in Styx now.
Yeah. So I know, weird. When that album came out, okay, Punin and Stan went like into the top 10 right away. Yeah. And I was playing in Montreal the very same month. Donald K. Donald was doing a show with myself of that album.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the theater. I'll say it was maybe Theater Saint Denis, but anyway, but also the Molson Center had just opened up. Now the Bell Center, I believe it is now. And Molson Center just opened up like 3 months earlier. And he said Styx was one of the first shows in there. And he called and said, look, hey, could you, instead of doing that show at the theater, I want you to open the show with Styx.
Wow.
And I said, Donald, I would love to, except I haven't opened a show in Canada for anybody in like 14 years. So I don't know if I should be an opening act. But if it's the Molson Center, that's too big a venue for me to do on my own at this point. He said, look, you the old Montreal Forum, this is the new one. It'll be a great thing, to bookend your thing. And I said, okay, yeah, I'm happy to do it. But it's just me on piano, right? This album's just, and he said, yeah, that's what I want. Okay. So when I played the show, the Montreal audience, they're always fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're singing the choruses of every song right from the beginning. Is like, I think, play like Cosmetics and then Strange Animal, and it went on and on. And Styx manager actually came up to the show. He tells this story, he's told it a few times. Charlie Brusco is our manager, and he said he came up just basically to see this Lamb to the Slaughter guy that was going to go on stage with just a piano. And because he thought Donald had lost his mind.
Right.
And Donald K. Donald, as you know, was very savvy, the most
smart guy,
savvy, smartest guys around. And when he saw the reaction of the audience, he suddenly got it. And there were multiple encores that night, and I put it in Stan, and then A Criminal Mind, I think, was the last thing I played. And when I came off stage, Tommy Shaw, they were all standing there, the whole band. It was Tommy and James Young and JY and Dennis DeYoung and Chuck Panazzo and Todd Zuckerman, our drummer. And Tommy immediately stepped forward. He said, man, we got to work together again in the future. Todd actually went and bought a copy of that album on the CD.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually, it was weird is, I was speaking my broken French on stage, and them being an American, they couldn't really tell the difference. Todd's first words to me was, excuse, he's a Chicago guy. He's like, excuse, I don't speak French. And I'm like, yeah, neither do I. Oh, I thought you were like a French, Elton John mixed with Genesis or Tony Banks, And I said, no, I'm just a guy from Toronto. And anyway, that album wound up being the conduit, I suppose, that brought me into the realm of Styx.
Crazy.
That's amazing. You brought up A Criminal Mind. I just want to say I was doing a lot of research before this interview, and I've always loved your music, but for the first time ever, I saw that music video today, and it came out in 1985.
Yeah.
Everyone loves comic books now.
Yes.
But all the way back then, you were, pretty much a forward thinker for how much you involved both animation and comic books within that concept of that video. There are some people that just have videos of them rocking out, and then there's you. and you bring everything into that video. Can you just tell us quickly about bringing that to the forefront about 20 years before it became very cool?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I'm glad you liked it. It's when the song came out at first, they wanted to make CBS Records, Columbia wanted to make that the single. So there were obstacles right off the bat. First of all, the song is 7 minutes and 20 seconds long. So they said, okay, that we can deal with because we'll edit it down to single length. And second was the darkness of that subject matter was not common on radio in the 1980s, okay, up until that point anyway. So there were two factors there. And I remember starting a treatment for the video that was very dark, kind of as dark as the lyrics pretend. And then the notion of it being more like almost like the Batman series of the 1960s, where they lightened Batman, so to speak, in that they had humor in there mixed with the fact that he's Batman. Yeah. And I thought, turning myself into an animated cartoon character instantly makes it acceptable, and B, there's a larger than life aspect to that, a timelessness that animation just has always intrigued me. And they completely went for it. They tripled the budget immediately. They thought this is a great way to sell this song. And we had a great time making the video, a fantastic art department with the director back then, Rob Courtley. They had this great art department, and basically anything I asked, and I had the storyboard kind of laid out, they were able to kind of to render, and his direction was tremendous. And I'm really glad you like it. I'm still really proud of that video. And we turned it into a comic book, actually. I
have it upstairs. And there was two things I was trying to bring. I was trying to get the comic book because I have it, because one of my friends went to see you in St. Eustache a few years back, and he has it signed. So I have it upstairs with my comics. Cool. And my WolfCop 1 and 2, I was looking for it in my massive Blu-ray collection, and it's on loan.
Oh, wow.
But the comic book is great. And I got to get Ryan, we got to find you one, because Ryan's a big we're both big comic book guys. So
we'll find Ryan one. I think the problem is we sold them all. So we're going to do another run of them because people do like them a lot. The original artwork for that was done by a lady in Winnipeg named Ilia St. Ange, who is doing fan art online. And fan art has become this kind of controversial thing because it goes way over the line of a copyright infringement, but at the same time, you're like, no, wait a second, I like this.
Yeah, I know.
There's this enthusiasm especially from people who weren't even born when these songs came out. So I contacted her and said, if you do that, my wife Jan, who worked on that album cover, by the way, is a really great comic book colorist, and she learned this craft over the years. She's really artistic, and so she did the colorization for it, and so kind of happy with that as well. We sold a bunch of them at Styx shows as well. That's
nice.
Another thing. Yeah.
Look, I know you got other things to do today and the other people talk to, but briefly before we cut out, I just wanted to ask you, can you tell us a bit about the tour, when it kicks off, where you're going, and when people can see you?
So it starts on the 16th. I'll get the cities out of order, but I know it starts in Lac Brome, which is this beautiful area.
Yeah,
to discover. Lac Brome. Then it's Montreal. I'm going to get them out of order. I'm sorry. Rivière-du-Loup, Chicoutimi, Quebec City, Laval is in there. I've got 2 to go. Saint Hyacinth, and the final one is, hang on, I can kind of look it up.
Oh, don't worry about it. We'll find the dates. We'll find the dates.
Dude, you
But-
know you're popular here when you're playing Montreal and Laval and St. Hyacinthe, because
Yeah.
usually it would just be someone driving the distance to try to see you at least once. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
they're really, I know they're in close proximity, and yet, yeah. But we get people come to multiple shows. The same with Styx, it's
Yeah.
quite often, and it's become a thing now. I just saw Peter Gabriel about a month ago, about a month ago now. And yeah, if I could have driven to the next show, I certainly.
Yeah. Well, that's it. When you have an artist that you love, and they're playing in close proximity, if they're doing a Montreal and Ottawa, why wouldn't you do it? It's not that far of a drive.
Absolutely.
And especially after coming out of the last few years that we came out of, I think everybody wants to get as much under their belt as they can.
This is it. I'm the same way. I'm as I said, I'm a fan as well, and of bands that I love so much. And yeah, after 2020, I think the experience we've always loved. I happen to be a person who thinks a great rock show is the greatest form of entertainment I've ever encountered. But after 2020, the depth of that entertainment, I think, got really underscored, really got underlined in heavy, magic marker or whatever you want to say, because it's a life enhancing experience that you really are connected. You're connected to yourself as a kid discovering it, and I hate to kind of relegate that to just the level of pure nostalgia. It goes deeper than that. It's almost like your DNA is connected to this music, and your life force is kind of tied in with it.
Yeah.
Is that nostalgia? I don't know. I think it's something more profound than that.
Maybe it's a lighthouse. Maybe it's a lighthouse in a storm that always leads you back home.
Oh, Ryan, how much hot sauce have you drank today?
So much.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. You're amazing. We'll definitely be at a couple of those shows, and
Please.
And we really, really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today.
Oh, Jason, fantastic. I really enjoy your show. And Ryan, nice to meet you. By the way, what is the name of the sauce?
It's called Heartbeat Hot Sauce, and we'll reach out to Simone. We'll get a contact for you, and we'll have them send you some out for sure.
Oh man,
because they're actually from Thunder Bay, Ontario. They're one of the best hot sauce companies in the world.
Only good things come from Thunder Bay.
Yes, that is true.
Okay.
I don't want to tell you what I caught in Thunder Bay in the 90s, but we'll keep that for another time.
Was it hot sauce? It
was hot. It was burning.
Lightning? Was it lightning in a bottle?
Thanks so much.
What a great way to end it.
I know.
Okay, guys. Nice seeing you.
Man. Take care.
Right, bye, Ryan. Bye, Jason. Thank you.
Bye. Take
Cheers.
care.
All right, dude, what a nice fellow. Like you think a guy who's been, such a successful solo singer. It's almost kind of like, when you think, oh, does it ever work when solo singers become singers of major established bands already? I'm like, yeah, Van Halen, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's happened.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the thing is, if I have a chance to see Gowan fronting Styx with a smile on his face rather than Dennis DeYoung, who is not going to be happy there, I'm good. I've seen Styx with Gowan, and Tommy Shaw looks really happy that he's there. So that's what matters to me, man. I honestly, he is so wonderful. He's got such a great energy, and yeah, Dennis DeYoung's awesome too. I mean, I look at it as when these kind of splits happen, I look at it as the world just gets more of what they love. And Styx are just so good with him fronting. I saw them in Laval at Place Belle. They're one of the few bands, rock bands today that plays without tracks, no backing tracks. They just play live, and they're just great. So it's something to see. And now that Gowan is coming and doing live dates alone, solo dates, we're definitely going to have to go to some. So the dates kick off November 16th in Knowlton. They're going to be in Montreal on the 17th. He's going to be playing the 19th in Saint Foy. The 21st in Saguenay, the 23rd in Saint-Hyacinthe, the 24th in L'Assomption, the 25th in Laval, and then Ottawa on the 26th, 28th, the 26th and 28th in Ottawa, and closing off that whole tour November 30th in Toronto. So definitely check out Gowan live if you've never seen him before.
No way. He's playing next Friday?
Yeah.
Jason, may I propose something to you?
Sure.
I know you're a busy man and you have a lot to do, but is it possible that you and I can construct the greatest weekend ever by going to see Gowan on Friday and then Kiss on Saturday?
Well,
And then
look,
Sunday could be reserved for nursing our wounds because joy hurts.
I don't
So-
know if I can see. I don't think I can see Gowan on the Friday
Okay.
because I've got some other stuff I'm doing. But I'm definitely going to see Kiss with you,
Oh yeah.
and I'll nurse my wounds. And we're going to have to also talk to people, let people know that we're going to see Kiss together. We've got a very whole big plan that we're going to do when it comes to Kiss.
We are kissing.
We're kissing, not kissing, but we're going to go see Kiss together, and this will be interesting. We'll do something fun with the Kiss thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it away, but I think I already have. I mean, come on, what are we going to do? We're going to wear Kiss makeup, right?
I don't see how I could see Kiss without wearing Kiss makeup at this point.
This is the thing. You've seen Kiss every time in makeup. I've never gone to Kiss in makeup. So this is going to be my first time going to Kiss in makeup.
And I switched characters. So this time I'm going as Paul Stanley because our friend that's doing us a solid by putting the makeup on us has way less to do if I'm Paul Stanley. Yeah, no, each time I've seen Kiss, I've always gone as a different character. I started off as Peter Criss, which the makeup looked actually really good. And then I went as Ace Frehley, but then I realized because I have the blonde hair, I look like that little piece of shit kid in Detroit Rock City that like gets one of them beaten up and stuff. Because he like one of the big dumb guys attempts to steal his Kiss tickets, and he's just like, "Don't take my tickets. My brother has them." Oh, Chongo! And then these two giant guys, like, anyway, I look like that little asshole. And so This time around, I'm going to look like an out of shape Paul Stanley, which is going to be wonderful. And then maybe due to some bitch magic, Kiss will come back to Montreal for a one-off or something like that. Even though they say they retire, if I were Kiss, I would stop touring because touring's hard, even on the young.
Yeah.
But if there's kind of like a multi-million-dollar opportunity to do one show or something like that in one festival, do that. That would make sense to me.
Didn't they do the Vegas residency already? Have they done it?
That's amazing. Imagine that.
I don't know if they've done it or if there's been talk about it because a lot of bands have done it, but I could totally see them doing the one thing, like the Vegas residency, one spot, doing that there. But yeah, I mean, listen, I there's also talks that they're going to do a reality show where they're going to pick the next Kiss, and then they'll just send them out on the road to represent them, doing them as best as they can. I will see, because I really do believe that Kiss will endure, and it'll kind of be like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like it'll just be this thing that people go to, and
I don't think you can replace Paul Stanley, man. He's a one of a kind.
You say that, but then you get some people out there that will have studied it and that'll just go do it, and then they'll have a Paul Stanley. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe you're right, but it's interesting to me. I think doing a Vegas residency is less sleazy than having a reality show where you're trying to replace yourselves. Yeah,
I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do, but I could definitely see them doing something that's going to surprise a lot of people, and it's going to keep. They're not going to. Kiss isn't going to die. It's going to continue, and there's going to be younger people doing Kiss. That's just I've always said that.
Younger people keep kissing, no matter how many pamphlets we hand out. They just keep doing it.
On that note, we'll see you next week on the Rockman Power Hour. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to our sponsors, Heartbeat Hot Sauce, the heartbeat of the Rockman Power Hour. Use our promo code Rockman20 to get 20% off your entire order. Thank you to Studio House Designs. And don't forget, in the month of December, we're going to be giving you a chance to win the Picard Legacy Collection. Star Trek fans, rejoice. Everything you need from Jean-Luc Picard is in this box, and our friends at Paramount Home Video have given us a chance for you to win this. So make sure you keep it locked on our socials. Thanks to my co-host, Ryan Stick, to our producer, Julia Kajerski. And until next time, we'll see you on the Rockman Power Hour. Hey, thanks so much for supporting the Rockman Power Hour. We're almost 2 years strong, and we absolutely couldn't do this without your support. So make sure you click on one of these links to find our entire playlist of episodes. And if you haven't subscribed yet, right over there, hit it, and you won't miss anything.